Oh, hey guys, we're about to start Extra Butter. I'm really excited about today's show. We got a lot of movies I'm excited to talk about with the legendary Mikey Winfield and Kelly. What are you guys most... Yeah, that's not Mike and Kelly. That's Mike and Kelly. What are you excited about?
Oh man, nobody's fool today.
Oh, it's going to be very cool. We got Tiffany Haddish coming up a little bit later on. How about you?
Love her. Steve Carell and Timothee Chalamet in Beautiful Boy.
Nice job pronouncing Timothy's name right. I'm really excited about Bohemian Rhapsody. We got the stars of that and so much more in Extra Butter starting in just moments. In the meantime, watch something. Welcome to episode 101 of Extra Butter. On today's show, Tiffany Haddish and Whoopi Goldberg in the same movie? Yes, please. We'll be talking about Tyler Perry's Nobody's Fool. Also, we are the champions. We are the champions. Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody opens, I'll Stop Singing, and we'll have every member of the cast and surviving members of Queen, and he's going for it again. An Academy Award for Steve Carell? Maybe. Beautiful Boy. That and more on this edition of Extra Butter. It's episode 101. This is a show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Not like frustrated film critics, just people hanging out with friends like these right here. Hi, guys.
Hey. What's up?
Yeah. Welcome back. 'Tis the season. Halloween's behind us, but we still got to talk about the movie.
Bum, bum, bum. How do you not talk about it?
Crushed it at the box office. The highest grossing October of all time, and a lot of people are saying Halloween's the reason.
Wow, you know what? I think they robbed us. I think is what happened. Yes.
What do you mean?
Why do you think that?
We were robbed.
You didn't like the movie?
There's so many Halloween movies, and I think this one was just put out because it was the tradition of the movie coming out.
I liked it so much, and you hated it?
It had parts. That was it. It was parts, but as a whole full movie,
I'm in the middle ground of both of you because I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great Halloween movie.
Yeah.
It's 40 years later. I think it was a necessary movie. Danny McBride had a huge part in writing it, so there was awesome comedic timing, comedic parts in this movie. However, I agree with you in the way that there weren't a lot of jump scares. You think of scary movies, you think you're gonna be going like this the whole time and jumping, and I only had to do this one time.
Well, I went to Universal Studios Hollywood. I caught up with Jamie Lee Curtis, who interestingly enough said she thought everyone would love this movie, except Mikey Winfield. Wow. She nailed it.
She knew it.
She said nothing of that, but she did talk about why people would like it. I'm in Toronto less than a week ago. I'm watching a midnight movie, and I said, there's no way in hell Jamie Lee's gonna stay for the end of this. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, you come out on stage.
I haven't been up that late since 1976.
But you were the spryest person on stage.
I was spry.
What should we look forward to at the new Halloween? What are you most proud of?
It's intense, and it's beautiful. So it's super intense and beautiful.
You just described your movie the way I describe you everywhere. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for it.
Beautiful person.
You know why I hugged her? Because I felt sorry for her. You hurt her feelings saying you didn't like her movie.
Well, look, I like her, and there were parts.
See, everyone loves Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
We salute you, Jamie.
There you go. I'm going to call in for backup, find out whether this guy likes the movie or doesn't like the movie. Skip it, rent it, or what. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Greg Russell, Detroit's own.
Woo!
Greg Russell.
How are you, Greg?
Going great. How about you?
Where do you sit? Halloween. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What's the deal?
You know, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I was never a fan per se, of the series. I mean, I knew who the characters were. I knew all about everything, but I just, hadn't followed. So when I saw this one, there were a couple of things that really just kind of made me laugh. I mean, they did do a tip of the hat to the old 70s and 80s horror movies. I ran into a bunch of fanboys and girls after the screening, and they were telling me how much they loved it, and how they were the ones who actually kind of started out with there was the first one and this one, and they erased everything else in between.
Okay, Greg, so where do you sit? Should we go and watch it, or should we wait and rent it?
if you're a Halloween fan, I mean a fan of the movie series, yeah, definitely go to the theater and see it. It's still a good date movie. Other than that, you may, just wait and hang out. It'll be out on DVD and streaming probably, in a month? So there you go.
There you go. Hey, it's the world famous Greg Russell, everybody. Greg, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Bye, Greg.
Bye, Greg. Thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Bye.
Okay, 'tis the season for Academy Award pushes. The movies that they want to win Academy Awards that might not even be big are coming out now. Case in point, Beautiful Boy. You said you're excited about this.
I'm all about it. Steve Carell fan, being alumni of The Office. And Mara Tierney, she's like one of my favorite actors from The Affair.
Right.
On Showtime. Yeah,
of course.
I'm invested in this film already.
And we can't forget about Timothee Chalamet last year with Lady Bird.
Right.
And Call Me By Your Name.
Right.
He is just making the awards circuit. And I hope they really recognize Steve Carell for this, and both of them, because it's such a crazy, good film about addiction, and there's a lot of different points of views that a lot of addiction movies don't really cover, and it's a beautiful story.
It's true. I wanted to sit down and come on, it's Steve Carell. I wanted to say, hey, did you know my friend Mikey Winfield was on The Office too? I wanted to yuck it up, but it's a pretty serious subject.
Yeah.
And kind of tap danced around it. Excellent work in this movie, and it's so good to see the two of you smiling, because walking out of this movie, I felt like my gut had been punched, which means everybody involved did their job.
Thanks. Thank you.
If a movie can inform and entertain at the same time and make the world a better place, and I certainly think that this movie nails all three.
I'm doing great.
So 99% of making a movie is waiting around to shoot the movie. So what are you guys doing during the downtime? What did you two talk about?
What does that mean? We talked about everything.
I'm sorry. Dad,
I mean,
we just lunch and talk.
I don't want to speak for Timothy, but I think we got along pretty well, the entire time. Yeah.
Mutual worship taking place. I loved you in Lady Bird. I love you in The Office.
No, well, I hadn't really been. I mean, I'm not sure about that Law and Order episode I did when I was 13, but no, I feel like I had to go through the experience of okay, let's put a lid. But you know what? I was really helped in that I guess we were playing father-son, so there's kind of an intimacy there that is required almost immediately. But Steve is such a great human and professional, and God, the number of things I saw I would observe from the way you carry yourself on set that I do now, on things that I've taken really and I've stolen. And
well, I felt exactly the same way. He is the epitome of a decent guy. It's impossible to not like him.
Yeah, hard-hitting subject, hard to talk about and have fun, because you know me, I'm a hack. I walk in, was this movie as much fun to make as it is to watch? Couldn't do that with that one.
Definitely not. And it's based on the book that the real-life dad and son wrote, which I think is amazing.
You're going to be rooting for his character to get his act in order, going, no, don't do it, come on, you can, oh, no. You're going to talk to this movie. You're going to talk to the screen.
Ready.
Definitely go see it in theaters.
All right, a movie that I'm super excited about. This is one that's actually joyful at times, sad at times, but exciting from beginning to end. It's based on the true life of Freddie Mercury. Bohemian Rhapsody takes you back to the 70s. The whole cast joins us now. And welcome back. It is Extra Butter episode 101. Remember, if you can't watch the whole thing, you can always go back. All social media, it is Extra Butter TV. And now a movie I'm very excited about.
Oh, yeah.
We are the champions.
Yeah, we are the champions. Right.
Galileo, that's
All right, Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm so geeked out about it. I think it speaks maybe to my generation, and technically it's before my generation. My brothers were big into Queen, so I remember listening to their 8-track tape, Google it, of Queen back in the day. You didn't have to know.
No, you know what I love though about rock movies is you get to know so many different sides of the band. So you think you know this icon, he's kind of like a deity, like a godlike figure.
That's
and
right.
You get to see him as the man behind all this. He's just a human being, and I love that about rock. It's like a rock documentary in a way, and I love that about it.
We showed some of the trailer right there. You saw one of the bigger moments of the movie, Wembley Stadium, and that is, and it remains the largest audience for a music event ever, and the largest television audience globally for a music event ever. I had a mind-blowing, remarkable opportunity on Freddie Mercury's birthday to sit down with the entire lead cast of this film, including Rami Malek.
That's incredible. You know, Freddie Mercury is such a complicated character. There's so many angles and things to him. Did you get to talk to Rami maybe about the delicate state?
Oh, yeah, no. I just talked to him about my mustache. No, but wait, there's a backstory. Hold on. I didn't ask for compliments. He remembered. If you roll this interview raw, when I first sit down, they start talking about the mustache. He remembers that 2 weeks prior, I didn't have it. Wow. It's bananas.
Whoa.
Take a look.
Pose with that mustache. Come on, a little Freddie pose.
You know, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you're nailing it.
I'm giving it a shot.
You've embraced it.
Great.
You're doing well.
It's a real mustache that I grew just with.
Yes.
Good work. May I get a wide shot over there, please? Yes. All right.
I just saw you the other day, right? And you did not have a mustache.
I interviewed you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you know I'm not when I say I grew this just for today. Each of you, down the road, what is the moment you've seen that you're most proud of?
I think Live Aid's pretty amazing. Yeah, it was quite a buzz doing it. It was the first thing we did in the whole shoot, so it was like real kind of baptism of fire, jumping in at the deep end. But that kind of set the tone for the whole thing. So that's there's so many highlights, but that's one of the highlights.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. That's the biggest accomplishment from my end is all the time it took to rehearse for that and to do the full set. We did the entire set on the, I don't know, 5th or 6th day, about 2 or 3 straight run-throughs.
Wow.
With 3 cranes, cameras everywhere. It's something you can really only catch at a theater.
And you're in the wings watching this. When you see it married to the CG, to the music, everything, how is that?
Really, I mean, it was overwhelming seeing it live there. It was shocking seeing what all of these people are capable of. It was incredible. But I think, I don't know, the thing that stands out for me is the feeling that you get when you leave the theater, that kind of charged energy. So to be involved with something like that, to be involved in the creation of that feeling is very pride-inducing.
Understatement. I can imagine. And you can tell she kind of talked herself in the corner, but you can tell how much they realize the weighty nature of taking on these roles and telling this story. Now, what did you ask me about Rami Malek?
You know, did you get to really talk to him?
About the vulnerability?
Yes, the vulnerability.
Yeah, no, but guess who did? Our own Maria Gloria asked exactly that. Wow. Take a look.
One of the things I took away from just watching the trailer is your vulnerability, your complete vulnerability doing this role. How was it? Was this your most vulnerable role yet?
You know, I wanted to capture a side of him that people don't really see, and he is a very complicated, conflicted man. I think when you find out about his story and just the events of his childhood they let you in on a very vulnerable side of him, a very shy side, and all the things he had to overcome.
Nice job there, Maria Gloria. Good questions, good Rami Malek engagement.
Wait, have you ever met Freddie Mercury?
No, so it was a little bit before my time.
Oh.
I once had a chance maybe to get backstage. I do have a great story with Brian May, the lead guitarist.
Okay.
I was walking through a buffet one time in England, standing next to this very tall guy who said, "Excuse me, what would you suppose that is?" And I said, "I think it's popcorn shrimp." He said, "Popcorn shrimp? What?" And I said, "Well, that's what we call it in the States. It just means tiny shrimp." "Oh, okay." So I walk away, my friend goes, "What were you guys talking about?" And I said, he asked me what that was, and I said, "I think it's popcorn shrimp, and I think it didn't translate to UK." And he goes, "You just talked about popcorn shrimp with the greatest guitarist of all time? That was Brian May."
Somehow that story does not surprise me. I'm just glad security wasn't called on you this time, that's all.
They almost called it on me last week, because take a look. I'm walking down the hallway for a meet and greet of the surviving members of Queen. This time I got to meet him again formally. Look at me. I bring him in for a hug. People are prying me away from him if you look at this video. All right, hey, someone else that I want to talk to who has something to do with Freddie Mercury because of an everlasting work of art just created. Ladies and gentlemen, the world-renowned David Garibaldi.
David Garibaldi.
Hey, David, welcome.
What up?
Hey, what's going on, man? I want to show some video right now of an extraordinary work of art. I've seen you paint just about anybody that has had a signature in pop culture, but never Freddie Mercury. I saw you post this over the weekend. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Freddie Mercury has always been an inspiration to me. I think just Queen in general, they're theatrical performers. And me being a performance skater, you can say I'm a theatrical performer as well. So, I mean, he exudes just being a rock star, on stage, just this je ne sais quoi that you just can't explain. And I try to channel that when I perform. So hopefully the painting does him justice.
Hey, David, so music surrounds your performance. How did you come up with what music was going to play during?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing driving force behind my momentum on stage, the movement, and also, you know, take Queen for example. Their music's all over the place. It's slow, it's fast, and so it gives me a lot of options to create a portrait in the moment.
Hey, Dave, I gotta ask, do you ever screw up? One time you taught me how you do this. Obviously, I don't have the skills, but I tried to do it beside you, and I was painting John Lennon, and I slipped, and all of a sudden it looked like Barbara Streisand. Did you ever screw up?
I saw that. I tried to block that out of my mind.
Thanks.
No, I mean, there are moments, but you would never know because I think one thing that I learned is how to take portraits, but also how to face them when I mess up. So hopefully you'll never know if I do it right.
Okay, so Rami Malek cast as Freddie Mercury. What are your thoughts on that? Are you excited for the movie?
I love it. So I love Rami Malek in Mr.
Robot.
And so he was an amazing performer, actor. Honestly, I think it was a perfect choice to play Freddie.
Awesome. Well, David, consume like my body weight in Cuban food while you're there in Miami. I'm so jealous of you. All right, where are you going? What do we need to be promoting for you, Mr. David Garibaldi?
You know what? I just announced my Art Life tour. So that's happening. We're starting in my hometown, Sacramento, late November, and then we're going East Coast, West Coast in February. It's we got 12 cities that we'll be hitting. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. So follow David Garibaldi online and also follow us, Extra Butter TV, because that painting that he just did, he is graciously donating to the Freddie Mercury Foundation, established by Freddie Mercury's family. And David Garibaldi!
Thank you, David. So cool he's donating that. That's amazing.
That's great. No kidding. And David Garibaldi, since his appearance on America's Got Talent, has raised over $3 million for charity. Such a good guy. Yeah, he is awesome.
Good deal.
All right, so I say go see Bohemian Rhapsody. It'll be nominated for no less than 5 Academy Awards. Rami Malek, definitely one of those nominations.
He becomes Freddie Mercury. You have no trace of Rami Malek in this role, and anything to do with rock like that, I say go see it, because it is amazing.
I say a film about the band. You definitely go see it. You're going to learn something. You're going to find out some history you probably didn't know and see some drama. I'm all about it.
There you go. If you want to see some drama that's funny, coming up next. Tiffany Haddish and Whoopi Goldberg in the same movie. Yes, and an amazing cameo that we can't tell you about, but will come darn close as Extra Butter continues next. Oh, shoot! Welcome back. It is Extra Butter. I'm sorry. It's okay.
You are so excited about this upcoming movie.
Clean up on aisle 9. It's okay. I'm going to eat all of that. Stop emailing and stop jumping online. Stop trolling me with your mean comments. All right, nobody's fool. Appropriate time for this to happen. Tyler Perry's new movie, hysterical.
Yeah.
You know, just finding out that it was shot in 10 days, remarkable. Another credit to Tyler Perry, which I'm a fan of, that there's always something to learn and grow from. And then I love Tiffany Haddish.
Same, I love her. She has 5 upcoming movies, you guys, this year. That's insane. 5 movies, she's killing it. And her and Whoopi Goldberg playing her mom is the best combination ever. I was dying laughing.
So Tiffany's buddy in this movie is played by Amber Riley. You might remember her from Glee. They paired her up with Whoopi Goldberg, and I sat down with them to talk about stuff. So when we talk about the list, is working with the likes of Whoopi Goldberg something that you've now crossed off your list?
Absolutely. I actually got to meet Whoopi when we did Glee. Yes. And it was just wonderful, you know, talking to a legend and knowing how, like, down to earth she is and amazing. And then getting to be in a movie with her. Really
and Whoopi, reading the script, what do you think is one of the funniest moments that people are going to take away from this movie?
Well, you know, you're acting like I remember the script. You're acting like I have a full memory. But just the fact that this is kind of a strange, wonderfully odd woman who made her life work.
Right.
When probably it shouldn't have, but it worked. And she's not stopped doing anything she was doing. She's a whole person, and she loves her kids, you know, and her kids' friends.
Right. I love about your character that she seems like your typical suburban mom, and then she rounds the corner and you find out that she is growing and an enthusiast of herbal culture.
As though that's a surprise in suburbia. Sorry.
True point, Whoopi Goldberg. Way to keep it real.
Definitely America.
And I think Whoopi may have led the charge on that too in real life.
You never know. She could be doing it herself.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a norm.
Yeah,
that
there you
many
go.
people partake in.
That's what I love about Tyler Perry is he touches on these points that are hilarious and they're real life things, you know? That's why he's a genius. When he writes, directs, produces everything, the man is a visionary, you know?
And you touched on the fact that Tyler Perry shot this in 10 days.
Right.
And I know you're a fan. I'm a fan too, but I have to tell the audiences whether you love Tyler Perry's movies or not, this one is next level. Despite the fact that he shot it in 10 days, this might be one of the best Tyler Perry comedies ever made.
I've been hearing that from everybody, that this is one of the, like you said, this is the best one he's ever come out with.
Is it because the combination of just writing and performers and everything coming together?
Yeah, you got Whoopi, Tiffany, and there's a cameo on the, I almost blew it. There's a cameo in this movie we kept talking about.
You mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man.
We got close to it in this interview. I hate to bring non-interview stuff into the interview, but you were talking about your family's reaction to seeing this movie, kind of identifying some people.
Oh, right. Yeah, my cousins and stuff, like, you know who that is in the family. My auntie's like, girl, you acted just like, you know, they calling out people's names. I'm like, well, you know, we all related. We all, we family. We family.
It's all fun and games until the family attorneys start coming out and saying, that hit too close.
That's me. Well, they were excited, like, that's me, or that's such and such, like, and everybody was really happy. Yeah.
So this movie, and I was saying to you before we started the interview that there's a Tyler Perry comedy, and this definitely has that signature on it, but this is much different than any comedy you've ever done.
Yeah, well, it was my first movie with Paramount, so everything else has been with Lionsgate, so it was my first movie with them, so I wanted to do something totally different.
Right.
And rated R comedy I had never done, even though I had done rated R movies.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have Tiffany Haddish and Whoopi Goldberg and that special
There's a
surprise
cameo.
you gotta go rated R. So it was really great, really great.
Triple R once you get that cameo.
That cameo was pretty
which
good.
we will not speak right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna really dig this movie. So Nobody's Full, Bohemian Rhapsody. Have yourself a great weekend, and thanks for hanging out with us on Extra Butter.
And Beautiful Boy.
Exactly. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Ew, don't eat that off the floor. Ew. It's like my worst.
It's fuzzy.
Ew.